Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. But if they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. Last week I did a blog in which I was looking forward to the films coming up in 2017, looking down the release schedule and saying, well, these look interesting, these are the ones that I think are the important films. And I said at the end of it, what have I missed? What are the things that you're looking forward to? Give me your suggestions. Well, of course, you have done in huge numbers. So I thought I'd do another blog entirely on the films which you think I overlooked, but which you are looking forward to in 2017. So let's start with this. This is from Chris Hammond, Baby Driver. Who wouldn't be excited to see a new Edgar Wright film? It's a very good point. One of the UK's brightest, most cinematically learned minds back on the big screen, free of the shackles of meeting fan requirements of the Cornetto films. Don't get me wrong, I do love the Cornetto films. So do I. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I still think that Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is the great unsung Edgar Wright classic. Although, as Edgar himself has said, that is the film which most regularly gets booked for cult screenings. It shows all the time. Now, it flopped when it first came out, didn't find the audiences that it deserved, but now it's a real cult classic. This from Lewis Brindle. I'm really looking forward to Baby Driver, Edgar Wright's new film. In the case of Blade Runner 2049, which I also talked about on the blog, I have a lot of faith in the film purely because it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. Oh, and cinematography by Mr. Deakins himself. It's got to be good, surely. We talked before about how, I really want Blade Runner to live up to everyone's expectations, and loads of you got in touch to say, yes, I want it to be great too, and actually doesn't, all the signs are really good for it. However, on the subject of science fiction films and Blade Runner and prequels and sequels, a title that came up time and time again that I didn't mention in my blog was Alien Covenant.
Shakespeare's opera! I can't do that, infectional.
So this from some sort of literature student. Alien Covenant, let's just hope it doesn't leave the thematic territory of Prometheus too far behind. And this from Lucky Boy, I'm looking forward to Alien Covenant. I enjoyed Prometheus, even though it was far from perfect and not really sure if Ridley Scott knew if it was a prequel, reboot, or a prequel reboot. Prometheus is an interesting case because people really vacillate about it. When it first came out, I gave it quite a good review, and then loads of people said, how could you like Prometheus? It was terrible. And sometime later I went back and watched it again and thought, this is not as good as I remember it. Now everyone's saying, why did you not like Prometheus? Actually, it's a lot better than you think. I did quite like it first time. Second time I was a bit bothered. This from Parzival, how could you not mention Alien Covenant? Yes, absolutely. Or War for the Planet of the Apes. And this was the other title that kept coming up. Many of you wrote in to flag up War for the Planet of the Apes. This, for example, from Mark of Cain. Being a big Apes fan, I'm looking forward to War for the Planet of the Apes and hoping some entente cordiale can finally be reached and man and ape can finally get on with living side by side, talking old times, such as when Taylor was beating the sand on his knees, screeching something about maniacs, which seems terribly appropriate in the current climate. Few more. This posted by WSV. One omission that I'm sure Mark will kick himself for not mentioning, and you're right, I am kicking myself, although technically it wasn't actually on the release schedule list, is Clio Barnard's next feature called Dark River. It's been a long time since The Selfish Giant, and for me, her next project can't come quick enough. I absolutely agree. I'm a huge fan of Clio Barnard's. I love Selfish Giant. I love The Arbor, and I'm really looking forward to Dark River. The reason I didn't mention it was it actually wasn't on the release schedule. I'm not sure if its release date is confirmed yet, but I am really looking forward to it. Goes on to say, I'm also eagerly awaiting the next Amy Jump, Ben Wheatley film, Free Fire, which is hitting our screens at the end of March. I know a lot of people have seen Free Fire at festivals. I haven't seen it yet. I really liked High Rise. I think Amy Jump is a terrifically talented writer, and I'm looking forward to Free Fire. The reports I hear are very divided, which again is good because very much like High Rise, it divided critics. People either loved it or hated it. That's what I like about those movies. This from Freddie, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, directed by Luc Besson, and a few of you wrote in to say, why didn't you flag this up? A fabulous director and storyteller. Well, a fabulous director, I mean, not always the best storyteller. From the trailers, it looks great. I just hope the film is stupidly complicated and fun. It's a Luc Besson film, it'll be at least one of those things. Now, this caught my eye by Blaze. The one I'm really looking forward to is Wonder Woman, which is out in June. You didn't mention it at all. Have you not seen the trailer? If that's anything to go by, it looks to be really good. Now, The reason I didn't mention it, I have seen the trailer, is that kind of my enthusiasm was sort of rather dampened by my whole problem with Batman versus Superman, which introduces to the character of Wonder Woman, was a pretty dreary film, and I thought it was disappointing. I know a lot of the rest of you did as well. However, open mind, yeah, Wonder Woman may be great. I haven't seen it, don't know, can't prejudge it, may be great. The key to all of this is that it's always crucial to go in hoping for the best and imagining that something might be brilliant, even if the previous indicators are not so great. Which brings me to the final comment, this from Rossetti, 1828. No mention of Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Mark's review of it will be one of the highlights of the year. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe it'll be a really good Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Maybe it'll be the Pirates of the Caribbean movie that, wins me over and has me saying, hey, Pirates of the Caribbean, I misjudged the whole series before. I now realize it's a work of genius. That might happen. That might happen.
Jack Sparrow. Do you know this pirate?
Only by name.
Find Sparrow for me and relay a message from Capitan Salazar and tell him